Azole antifungals are made up of two different classes of drugs, imidazoles and triazoles. Although these drugs have similar mechanisms of action and spectra of activity, their pharmacokinetics and therapeutic uses vary significantly. In general, imidazoles are given topically for cutaneous infections, whereas triazoles are given systemically for the treatment or prophylaxis of cutaneous and systemic fungal infections. Imidazoles include clotrimazole, oxaconazole, miconazole, econazole, teoconazole, and ketoconazole. You can memorize this by easy mnemonic called COMET-K. Whereas triazoles include fluconazole, itraconazole, turconazole, voriconazole, isavuconazole, posaconazole. These names can also be memorized by mnemonic FIT, VIP. Now let's see how these drugs work. Azoles are predominantly fungostatic. They inhibit C14-alpha-demethylase, thereby blocking the demethylation of lanosterol to ergosterol, which is the principal sterol of fungal membranes. The inhibition of ergosterol biosynthesis disrupts membrane structure and function, which in turn inhibits fungal cell growth. Resistance to azole antifungals is becoming a significant clinical problem, particularly with protracted therapy required in immunocompromised patients, such as those who have advanced HIV infection or bone marrow transplant. Mechanisms of resistance include mutations in the C14-alpha-demethylase gene that lead to decreased azole binding. Additionally, some strains of fungi have developed efflux pumps that pump the azole out of the cell. Now, talking about drug interactions. All azoles inhibit the hepatic CYP453A4 isoenzyme to varying degrees. Patients on concomitant medications that are substrates for this isoenzyme may have increased concentrations and risk for toxicity. Several azoles, including itraconazole and voriconazole, are metabolized by CYP453A4 and other CYP450 isoenzymes. Therefore, concomitant use of potent CYP450 inhibitors, for example, ritonavir, and inducers, for example, rifampin, can lead to increased adverse effects or clinical failure of these azoles, respectively. Contraindications of azoles. Azoles are considered teratogenic, and they should be avoided in pregnancy unless the potential benefit outweighs the risk to the fetus. Now, moving towards imidazoles. First, we will talk about clotrimazole. It is effective in the topical treatment of tinea infections like ringworm. 60 to 100% cure rates are reported with 2 to 4 weeks application on a twice-daily schedule. Athlete's foot, automycosis, and oral or cutaneous or vaginal candidiasis have responded in more than 80% cases. It is particularly favored for vaginitis because of a long-lasting residual effect after once-daily application. A 7-day course is generally used. For oropharyngeal candidiasis, 10 mg stroke of clotrimazole is allowed to dissolve in the mouth 3 to 4 times a day, or the lotion or gel is applied or swirled in the mouth for as long as possible. It is also effective in skin infections caused by corynebacteria bacteria, but like most topical antifungals, has poor efficacy in tinea cupitis, scalp, and tinea unguium, nails. Then comes ketoconazole, or shortened to KTZ. It is the first orally effective broad-spectrum antifungal drug, useful in both dermatophytosis and deep mycosis. The oral absorption of KTZ is facilitated by gastric acidity because it is more soluble at lower pH. Hepatic metabolism is extensive. Metabolites are excreted in urine and feces. Elimination of KTZ is dose-dependent. Half-life varies from 1.5 to 6 hours. Penetration in CSF is poor. therefore not effective in fungal meningitis. However, therapeutic concentrations are attained in the skin and vaginal fluid. Fluconazole is a water-soluble triazole having a wider range of activity than KTZ. Indications include cryptococcal meningitis, systemic and mucosal candidiases in both normal and immunocompromised patients, coccidioidal meningitis, and some tinea infections. Fluconazole is 94% absorbed. Oral bioavailability is not affected by food or gastric pH. It is primarily excreted unchanged in urine with a half-life of 25 to 30 hours. Fungicidal concentrations are achieved in nails, vagina, and saliva. Penetration into brain and CSF is good. Dose reduction is needed in renal impairment. Fluconazole produces fewer side effects, mostly nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, rash, and headache. Incidence and severity of these side effects increases with dose and duration of therapy. Hepatic dysfunction has also been noted. It is not recommended in pregnant and lactating mothers. Fluconazole can be administered orally as well as IV in severe infections. A single 150 mg oral dose can cure vaginal candidiases with few relapses. Oral fluconazole 100 mg per day for 2 weeks is highly effective in oropharyngeal candidiases, but is reserved for cases not responding to topical antifungals. Fluconazole 100 mg per day for 2 to 3 weeks is the first-line treatment for Candida esophagitis.